Hey, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today I want to give my opinion of Indian app developers. Okay, so I'm outside again today. We have had beautiful weather over the last couple of days. I mean, it's been like record heat waves, which I just love. It reminds me of San Diego, right? But in the office, it gets so stuffy that it's almost impossible to work in the afternoons. So, sorry, come outside and do the video outside this morning. It is glorious out here today. I absolutely love it. So today I want to answer a question that came in on video 278 from Drubajati Das. I hope I said your name the right way. And this is kind of a loaded question. He said, what do you think about Indian app developers? Can you create a video on your opinion, right? So I work with developers in India all the time. I have a lot of development teams in India that I work with. I work with developers in Vietnam, in the Philippines, obviously locally. I work with developers, right? And this is something, I'm not a big fan of the idea that people from different countries are better or worse coders, right? We all have the same access to the same information. We have the same documentation that we could read. Sometimes level of English might get in the way a little bit, but I think it's becoming less and less of an issue. In fact, sometimes I wonder, like, if in another language, like maybe the best Android app resource out there for learning is in Spanish, then what would I do? Oh, but that's probably a problem that a lot of people face coming up, but right, so it's like I hear a lot of things about developers in India or theories about why developers in one country are better than another, and I don't really subscribe to any of them, right? So to give you an example, years ago I was sitting in an office with somebody and they told me, yeah, a lot of people are sending their projects over to India, but the thing about Indians is that they can't code, right? And I said, what, Indians can't code? You're talking about 1 billion people, right? But it was just like, he had heard from a friend of a friend or whatever. A lot of times I talk to developers in the UK and they'll say or in the UK or the US, and I think, oh no, my job's secure because they can't send it to overseas because, whatever, there's some opinions about this, right? Some of the best developers I've ever worked with have been in India, right? But also some of the worst developers, right? I don't think your nationality has anything to do with how good a developer you are. There's no evolutionary reason. I mean, it's so new that there's just different ways of doing it. They who sits down and goes through all the resources and learns all they have to learn and does all they have to do will be a much better developer than somebody who doesn't, they go to a job, they do what they have to do, and then they go home and watch TV. And that's always going to be the case across any country, right? So a lot of times people, like a lot of projects come to us and they say, unfortunately, I sent this project to an Indian team first and I'm not happy with it. Can you fix it, right? And a lot of times they'll say, well, I'll probably send it to an Indian company to get it fixed, but that has nothing to do with anything, right? People who send their projects overseas and they have problems, they assume that people who don't send their projects overseas have no problems, and that's not the case. I mean, software sometimes can be messy, and a lot of times you just have to make sure that all the developers, what they have in their head is the same thing as a project manager has in his head, the same thing as a business owner has in his head, and all that kind of stuff, right? So anyway, that's just my opinion on that. And I know it's kind of a wishy-washy opinion, right? As a software developer, when I was working in the corporate environment, I was keenly aware of the fact that my job could be lost to somebody overseas, right? Because in somebody overseas, they might not have as much experience, but that's a temporary problem. Experience comes with experience, right? People get better and better and better all the time, and there are developers in India who are far better than me. There are developers in anywhere who are far better than me. It depends on who puts the work in and who learns as they go and who has the experience. So anyway, that's just my opinions on that. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think there's some inherent reason? Because this is something, believe it or not, this is something I hear about all the time, and it's concerning, right? I think as individuals, I mean, we're all software developers. We know how bad we were when we started, and we know how we improve. We remember our Hello World programs, right? We know, we all in our heads, we look back at stuff thinking, God, I was so terrible at this at the beginning. It's not because I was like American. Okay, I had one guy say that American coders were bad, and I was like, you know, I'm American, right? it was nationality has nothing to do with it, and you know, let me know if you guys disagree with that, but that's just the way I feel. Anyway, that's it for today. I will talk to you guys again tomorrow.